Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leora and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video, which is of course, as you saw on the thumbnail, that this is going to be another story time and in the series of course of yours and my stories, and I'm so excited about this one. I know I always say that, but it is because it gives me the chance to look a little bit into your lives and into your hearts and into what you're going through, and because it's always the other way around, you know, because I never see anything of you usually, you know, and that just gives me the chance to also get to know you, because I'm very open here on display for everybody. But yeah, so this gives me the chance to do that. So this is, if you're new here and you don't know what this whole thing is about, this is a series on my channel which is called Yours and My Stories, and or You and My Stories, I'm not sure now. Anyway, but you'll find it, there is a playlist on my channel with this theme. So anyway, you can send in your stories, your most scary, most beautiful, most romantic, most this, whatever you want to send, and the email address that you can use is in the description box down below. Feel free to send it, and then I'm gonna read it here on my channel if it is of course appropriate. You know, as you know, sometimes one has to filter a little bit, but usually it is, because I have lovely subscribers, usually it is an amazing story, and I'm gonna read it here so we all can share into the happiness, or just, you know, learn something from it, or whatever it might be, maybe. So anyway, so that's what this whole thing is about. So today's story is from Ilya, and she has been in my comment section quite a bit. I know her already quite some time, and it's just an amazing story. And this is what I mean with all of this, that when you know someone just by a name and from some lovely comments that they left, and then you suddenly get a story and you think, wow, what this person went through. And this is also what I thought last time when I read my last story, but this is also just absolutely amazing. So her name is Ilya. I think, I don't want to say something wrong, but she is originally Dutch, but she now lives in Germany with her husband. So I think that's, because sometimes I'm mixing up stuff, but I think that's what it is. So anyway, I'm going to this time also, because Ilya provided me with pictures that go with the story. So I'm going to try to include pictures. Maybe they will be on top of me and you'll just hear me talking, just so it's going to be a little bit bigger and you can see it better, okay? But I'll be here. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. All right, so let's go into the story. So she writes here, first of all, some facts, okay? The fire started around 3 p.m. in a warehouse on the terrain, don't know how to say it in English, of SE Fireworks. The fire department was unsuccessful to put down the fire as it spread to 3 shipping containers located on the grounds that weren't supposed to be there. Quickly after that, those containers exploded and the fire spread to the bunker, which held 177 tons of fireworks and some say explosives, which gave the final destructive explosion. 23 people dead, 950 people injured, 250 houses destroyed, over 1,500 houses damaged to severely damaged. Note, this fireworks storage area was located in a residential area, and I don't know anyone in that neighborhood that knew that it was there. I thought it was still a paper recycling company. So that is painting the backdrop for the whole story. So I think you can see where this is going, and at the end of the video, or once I have read this, I'm also going to share like my first thought that I had when I read this, or after I had finished reading this. Another thing, if you're new here, English is not my mother tongue. Sometimes I'm stumbling over some words, so that's just, you know, that's what I have to do, because English is not my mother tongue. Okay, so let's go into the story. It was a beautiful Saturday afternoon. I had just arrived at my parents' house the day before with my almost 5-year-old daughter, Jay. I was there that weekend because I was going to my best friend's surprise bachelorette party. Me and some of her other friends were going to surprise her at her job, which was located 1 town over, and party it up. My parents were happy to watch Jay, of course, as any opa and oma would, grandfather and grandmother, okay? So at around 2:30 p.m. I was picked up by one of the girls and we drove off to surprise my friend. We arrived at her job and she was surprised to see us all there, and as we were all just talking a bit before we were heading out, my best friend's phone rang and her mom was crying and screaming over the phone, saying there was a loud explosion and her house was showing major cracks in the walls. Quickly after that, other cell phones from the other women in our party were ringing too, all with the same story. Something serious has happened, and it was on the street my parents lived. As we were standing there trying to gather our thoughts as much as we could with the limited information we had at the time, we decided to drive the 10 kilometers back into town and see what was going on. I got in one of the cars, and as we got closer, the sun was overshadowed by a huge black cloud of smoke. The feeling of dread was coming. The main road into town was already closed off. Police, military, all standing on the road, redirecting traffic. We couldn't go any further. So in a message after that, she told me that that was about 3 kilometers away from her parents' house, just so you know. I decided to get out of the car and just walk. I saw people covered in blood walking on the road, people confused, crying. I guess I was one of them too, but just didn't realize it yet. I saw so many ambulances, choppers, people hurt, and I found myself looking for my child. She was wearing a dress I had made her. Maybe I would see her on this road? In one of the ambulances? No, nothing. I decided in order to get closer to my parents' house, I would take a shortcut through the park that was close to where I was. I walked in, and that's the last thing I remember. From what I know now is that my brain went into survival mode and blocked what I saw there. Who knows? I don't even know. Wow. The next thing I know is that I was sitting on someone's sofa in their home, located on that same main road. This man and woman looked at me concerned and asked me if I was okay and if they could help me. I told them what I knew, and they confirmed what I feared the most. Yes, there was a huge explosion at that fireworks warehouse. Thankfully, the man had connections with the police department, but there weren't a lot of updates or information at that time. They tried to keep me calm, offered me tea, and told me it was best to just stay put with them, which I did. Time becomes irrelevant. Emotions were gone, and what I thought could be reality entered my mind. I was in their bathroom thinking, well, that's it. I lost them all. I might as well kill myself too. I can't. What about my brother? He was serving in the military overseas at the time. Our family is that small, so that was it, you know? I couldn't cry, I couldn't hear, I couldn't feel anything. I came out of the bathroom and sat back down on the sofa, completely empty, thinking, how long am I supposed to wait to find out anything? I still cry about what I heard next. The softest caress hit my ear and a voice said, be patient, you will find them. I wasn't raised in a religion. We were raised to be spiritual, and we would have conversations as a family about different religion, etc. And I was calm. Isn't that amazing? I have goosebumps right now. Okay, wait, let me just get the page ready to turn. I found Jay and my parents later that evening, where the police department directed all the people who were looking for people and the people that wanted to be found to a school nearby. My parents have their own stories that are more intense than mine, recalling that day, and are still struggling with the mental damage that was left because of it. They lost everything, but they share stories of divine intervention that made this day horrific and special at the same time. Call it God, an angel, a higher power, it was there. I still have that dress Jay wore that day that I was desperately looking for her in that chaos as a reminder. Ilya. What do you say? Sweeties, I need to tell you what is my first thought that I had when I saw this child in the dress. Does that ring any bells? A small girl in a dress. You're looking for a girl in a special dress or in special clothes or in a special red coat. Rings any bells? I just want to say Schindler's List. You know, that little girl, that the whole movie was black and white, but the little girl in the red coat that was wandering among all the people, among all the chaos. I don't want to trigger anyone. I know Schindler's List is like a heavy, heavy thing. And I cannot, ever since I became a mom, I cannot watch it anymore because I cannot bear it. And I don't want to compare it, but this was the first thing I thought. This was, I could see the little girl in the dress that you saw already because I put the picture up. I could see that little girl on the street trying to figure out what is going on, wondering where her mom is, crying. I don't know. I wonder what Jay was thinking, if she remembers anything now after all that time, you know? So that was such a, it was so moving for me because I was thinking, of course, as the girl, also as the grandparents, and also as the mom. And then she also sent me a video. And I'm going to try to not forget to have it linked in the description box down below. There was a, I guess from a cell phone or something, someone filmed this when it started, and about like halfway through the video, the huge explosion went off. And I think you see, first of all, that the fireworks are going off and there's smoke and everything, and people are like staring up and wondering what's going on. And then suddenly this huge blast like explodes, and that must have been those explosives that were stored there too, I guess illegally, I don't know. So, and then people just run, and it's really, really scary. It reminds you of so many bad things where people run scared, and yeah. And but I so wanted to share this story with you because I just feel there's so many miracles, you know. And as Ilya also said, she was not raised religious. Now, for me, religion in that sense is not the point. For me, in my life, religion, I don't need religion. I need God. For me, it's God. You for yourself, call it whatever you want. I just need God. I don't need anything around it. I just need God in my life. And I believe that there are angels around me all the time. I absolutely do believe it because I feel like I'm only alive because of that. Because of the protective power of like God doing miracles. And I do not want to make every video like turning it into something religious, because I'm not here to preach. I'm just sharing my heart, okay? So don't, like, if you don't believe in any of this, don't get me wrong, you know, you can do whatever you want. It's just that here on my channel, of course, I'm going to share my heart, and this is what it is personally for me, that I'm so grateful that yes, there were dead people who died, and there was so much damage, and there's so much going on in the world that we don't understand. Earthquakes and stuff like this, where just stuff gets ripped apart, and wars and all of that. And I personally ask myself, why? Yeah, it's because people have been granted free will, and they are able to make stupid decisions. They are able to put a storage facility like this in the middle of a residential area because maybe they wanted to save money or whatever it was, you know. People are allowed to make stupid decisions because God is not brainwashing people, you know. So I just feel like it makes me aware so much that the decisions we make for our life and for our family or in our job, or, you know, that we have to be responsible. We cannot afford to make stupid decisions because these people who made those decisions have 29 dead people on their conscience and so many wounded, and who knows if there were people of those who then still died after that, and all the damage and all the heartache and all the trauma that has been caused by this, you know. I honestly would love to hear the story that Ilya's parents have to tell, how they see the whole thing. And maybe Ilya, you can get your parents to watch this video. maybe they can send in their story if they feel like it. I would really, that would be actually really, really great to have like a follow-up on this story, to see it from a different perspective. So yeah, I think that was such a good story to share because it is part of life, you know. It is miracles, it's heartache, it's trauma, it's love, it's life, it's death. Everything is part of life. And I'm just, now that I'm getting a little bit older, I'm starting to let myself, feel it all, and let myself like dip my toes into everything and see how it feels, because I want to not block out things from my life. I want to see where everything belongs and sort it out sort of as much as I can with my human brain. But I think that is my journey right now, what I'm doing these days. So anyway, thank you so much, Ilya, for this wonderful story of this miracle that you found your family unharmed and that you got through this, and that you shared it with us. Thank you so, so much. And I'm so glad you're part of my channel, and you're always here and watching me. Thank you so much. So for everybody else, of course, I'm so glad you're here too. And if you're new here, then please subscribe to my channel. I would really, really love to have you here. Of course, you will find everything that you need to know in the description box down below, and please leave me your comments in the comment section. Please send your stories if you want to do so, and I will see you here next time for my next video, which is going to be super soon. And up until then, go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.